Hello, everybody. My name is Tucker, and welcome back to our Russian Fishing 4 float fishing journey. Hopefully, audio turns out okay on this one. Last episode, I ran into a lot of audio problems and ended up having to just strip the audio completely out of the episode. But it was an amazing episode, in my opinion, anyway, so I don't think you missed much. But we're over here at Winding Rivulet today. Wanted to show why I enjoy fishing rivers with bolo rods and kind of the technique I use. So I've cast the bolo rod out. I like to open and close the bail. There used to be a bug. I don't think it's still there, but there used to be a bug where your line would not feed out properly if you didn't open and close your bail. So if you got to the end of your line, it would look a little bit like my telestick rod, where it would just be floating and not feeding more out. And there, if you saw it, we got a bite, and all I did is lock the reel and turn to the side. Typically, I like to turn upriver. This time I happened to turn downriver, and we got a marker dace. Nice fish. Trying to decide if there's something on the bottom rod, the feeder rod, or not. The good news about bolo rods is I like to use the float camera on the bolo rod. Then I keep an eye out on my other rod through just standard looking at the float. So I can see the float camera in the center, bottom center there, which shows me what the bolo rod is doing. And I can then keep an eye on the uh, fellow stick with my real eye, with my in-game eyes, not the camera. So it is a bit early in the morning. I've got bloodworms on a shallow hook on the fellow stick. I've got casters on a 30, I think it's like 32 really centimeter on the bolo rod here, and then I've got worms on I think it's a small hook as well too on the bottom rod. So notice I didn't open the bail, and it looks like it's not feeding out more line like I would expect it to. And there you saw the bite. I locked it and just turned, and we caught the fish. Small dace. There was a nibble on the float rod while I was dealing with, or the telestick while I was dealing with that too. Might have been a full bite, but wasn't 100% convinced it was. So I could find bolo rods good for long distance float fishing, for casting out, 15, 20 meters for float fishing, bream, or things like that, or really fishing small fish like this while floating down the river and just letting line feed out. If you look at the end of the rod, ooh, I'm surprised I caught that one. Mussel. 39-gram mussel on float rod for a nice amount of experience. Either a mussel or a frog, the way it went. You look at the end of the rod here, you'll see it gets a little bit tight, and then it feeds line out. Gets tight, feed line out. Gets tight, feeds line out. And you continue with the drifting with the current in the bottom left. That's what I really want. So with casters on, I'm mainly looking for dace with this rod. Dace or nace, either one. There I am. I was curious how far downriver we'd actually gotten. That might have been a nibble there. Won't let it go too much further, although I'm starting to see activity on it. If I hadn't seen the nibbles I'm seeing right now, I probably would have recast the bolo rod, but since it looks like there's a fish playing with it, I'm going to give that fish a chance. Got it. It's another small fish, but again, not surprised. What we're aiming for with this rod and reel right now. Small dace. Saw a nibble on the telestick too. I probably just messed the bite up there. Yep. Something on the feeder rod, I think. Gonna recast this one. There is something on the feeder rod, I was right. Ooh, Volgazander. So I think what happened with yesterday's episode that actually really just went up. I'm recording this about 6 o'clock on Sunday evening, and it was finally processed about 5 o'clock my time. With the episode yesterday, I think I just overloaded my recording setup. So a couple days ago, I made some changes to my graphics settings and was probably getting a little bit better quality video than I needed to be. And I think I just overloaded I use a USB hard drive to record to, and I think I just overloaded connection. So back graphics settings down to what I had been using for a while. I think that's more than reasonable. And that also cuts file sizes down substantially. So I think that'll help whatever happened. If it was in fact a system overload, I don't know. Basically, I would skip around in the video and hear audio, but if I listened straight through, there were 3 or 4 spots where the audio was just static. And once you hit that, the audio never truly came back. But if I opened and skipped that point, everything's fine. So weird. I'd never seen anything like that. And even when I remuxed it or just took the existing file and re-rendered it, it still had problems even with the audio. So YouTube didn't like something about it. So when I finally had a point where I just stripped the whole audio out and uploaded, and it worked. And it was an amazing video in my opinion. So I'm all right with no audio on that one. Mainly the main things I was doing in that is the same thing I'm saying here about how to river fish with a bolo rod of just let it float, close the bail, and turn upstream to hook the fish. So today may be a little bit of a slow episode. It may not be the most cost effective, most silver, but I wanted to come back here and re-record those thoughts. I thought about going over to Belaya, but I just decided against it, honestly. This has been a good spot to me for a while. That's a good fish. This has been a good gudgeon spot, decent bleak spot. I've gotten a few good mussels here as well too, but mainly aiming for Dace and Nace. That might be a decent roach. It was not what I thought it was at all. So to close and open the bail, you can either click to close and then press enter to open, or if you just press enter twice, you'll close and open it. Marker Dace, nice fish. Decent eyed, not amazing, but for the setup we have and the baits we're using, that's not a bad eyed. I'm honestly not sure what fish I'm truly going for with the bottom rod. Probably mussels. Wasn't paying attention, there was a fish on. Good roach. Going over to look for my stick float. I'll all of a sudden look down at the bolo rod float and it was gone. It's like another decent bleak. Yeah, not quite a marker, so it wasn't as good as I thought it was. And I can't remember if I mentioned this in the recording that went bad or not, but overnight was the US time change. So these will continue to come out at 8 a.m. Central, but that is an hour later than it has been for some folks. So US did our fall time change where we stepped back an hour. So this used to be about 7:15. It's now 6:15 my time. I missed that one. Yep. Jumped the gun a little bit on that one. That one I right clicked to lift up just because of where it was in relation to I didn't have a whole lot of line out and it was basically straight out. So right clicking will just lift the rod up just like you're bringing a fish in at the end of reeling it in. Some people use right click to catch a fish all the time. I tend to just do the turn. Nice mussel. Another marker mussel. I tend to just do the turn and lock the reel. Leaker. No, a Dace. Small Dace. So small I couldn't tell what it was. I might have missed that one. Might have been just a tick early. $16 fish, 15 minutes. Not too bad. Another good marker Dace. Evidently, I had a fish get away. I just now saw that. Was probably the last bolo fish I thought I had caught and missed. That was before the roach. It was a while ago. I don't even know what it bit on, to be honest. Probably the feeder rod here. It's starting to get a little bit warm out there. 17.5 degrees, so a little bit warm, not too bad. Ah, that one got away. Probably another mussel. Small roach. Get some dock worms. Good roach. Meant to drink and not pull out my shovel. You just have to keep in mind that, like right now, there's a fish on the bolo rod. I didn't have it locked, and I wasn't really paying attention to it because I was dealing with the bottom rod. So you just kind of have to keep that in mind of a fish may grab it and you need to be ready to switch over to it. Since you don't have the reel locked, you can just swim away with your line with little to no resistance. Should start feeding the line out here in just a second. Watching the bottom rod or the pillow stick, it looked like there was a nibble on it. It wasn't feeding line out like I would want it to. Yep, missed that one. Was watching the bolo rod instead. That's where fishing with float gets interesting, is trying to keep your eye on 2 or 3 or 4 things at once. You know, keeping your eye on two floats at the same time is difficult. Or 3. The 22 minutes or 21 minutes in, 22 fish in the catch net. Not bad. Hasn't been a lot of amazing fish, but some decent fish in there. Tomorrow might be a shorter episode for me. I've got to help my mom out with a doctor's appointment during the day. So we'll see when I'm able to record. As far as that goes, nothing too major, but gotta run her into the hospital for a quick medical checkup, basically. I missed it. Getting excited that I had 2 bites at once here and messed up the bolo rod for sure. And looks like the yellow stick rod may have given up too. Did I seriously get that stuck on the bank over there? I did. That is some shallow water. This is at 30 centimeters. Somewhere around there. I don't think it can go. Yeah, 32 is the lowest a bolo rod can go. My telestick right now is at 17. Still pretty shallow water. More dock worms. One of the nice things about bolo rod fishing is you can watch that drifting with the current. And typically, if it disappears, that means you're getting a nibble. So I use it kind of like the bells on the bottom rod as a early warning. Nice hide. Leaker, I think. No, gudgeon. Trying to decide if I'm going to go to something like Oldberg and try and bream fish at night or just stay here. Right now, I think I'm just going to stay here. So there, I set the rod down with the reel locked or closed, and you can press K as in kappa or K as in kilo to close or open the bail when the rod's sitting down like that. And there you can see it feeding line out. Gets tight, feed line. Gets tight, puts out a little bit more line. Was just picking the rod up just to pick the rod up and have it in my hands. Didn't think there was a fish on it and caught a fish. You can use the pressing R trick as well too to see if there's a fish on, like you do a feeder rod. You'll see me do that occasionally. Usually it's pretty obvious when you have a fish on versus when you don't, because when you do, the float camera tends to disappear. Nope, missed it. Too early. I could just set it down like that, but I like to just kind of recast it. That may end up being on land. Oh, it's drifting with the current. We're good. We'll keep an eye on it after we bring this former fish in. Did it again. Too early. Honestly, eyes are getting a little bit tired. Well, it's only 6:40. It feels 7:40, and I didn't sleep well, or couldn't get to sleep. Once I fell asleep, I slept really well, but didn't fall asleep until very late. And someone doesn't understand time change and wanted to be let out. It is. I don't blame him. Small Dace. It's probably going to be a low silver day. My guess is we're going to be 30 to 40 silver. But honestly, it's a relaxing day. I find river bolo fishing relaxing and fun. So, and it's something different from how we have been fishing. Nice gudgeon, 79-gram gudgeon there. So mainly it was it's something new. Let's do this. And then of course we had audio issues last episode. I get to do it a second time. I knew I didn't have a whole lot of line there. That's why I was lifting up right away. Nice Dace. 112 gram. Evidently, I'm the only one in the area, according to chat. And just there's nothing but floater live. Another decent Dace. Just short of a marker, I guess. $30 fish, 31 minutes. Just shy of 31 minutes. So still on track for a fish a minute. That's kind of my goal for is a spot worth being in. Is if you're getting a fish a minute, you tend to be in a decent spot. Not getting a fish in a minute, probably not the best spot. A lot of folks are cleaning up leaves in my neighborhood today, and evidently I inhaled some of the chopped up leaves. A lot of people use their lawnmower here to clean up leaves. Our city picks them up twice a year, usually around now and then in March. And my oak trees in my yard haven't even dropped their all of their leaves. So I tend to pick mine up in March. A lot of people's have been down for a month now. And with the really good rain we had on, I guess that was Friday, that knocked a lot of what remained down too. With 3 inches of rain in a day, 3.5 inches. And there's not actually a fish on here. Decent roach. No, it's another eyed. Nice. I only have 8 casters left. I think I actually got these casters in the bait kit. And if you wonder how I found that out, if you look in the upper left corner, it shows 8 next to in the upper left corner of the caster picture. Seven. Not sure what I'm going to do when I run out of casters. I have bait wise. Got some caddis fly. I may go down and try and get some chub. Just saw the telestick float kind of jump a little bit, so I'm keeping a close eye on that. But now nothing, so I don't think there's anything there. Got whatever this is. nothing big, so it's probably a Dace. Looks like it. Nope. Tiny, tiny roach. $34 fish, 35 minutes. So slowed down a tick, but not worth moving. And if I'm gonna move, it's gonna be a big move. So I think I'm just gonna stay here the night, or stay here at Winding at least. May have to relocate where I am here on the river, but I was debating going back to Old Berg, but I'm just not in the mood to do that for an evening. Another decent roach. Yeah, just short of a marker though. That was a leaf sneeze. I think I got to the mute button in time. I hope I only hit the mute button too and not my split button. Might have done that. Means I got more work ahead of me if I did. I don't know why I picked that rod up. Missed the bite on this one. Only got 4 casters left. I think it's technically 5 because I think the one on right now doesn't count. That's 1. Decent roach. Two. I'm honestly proving this to myself right now. I think I'll be able to catch 3 more fish on this rod. Total of 5 when it said 4. Now it says there's 2. Because I think it doesn't count the one that's on the hook right now. Three of 5. That's a bleak, I think. Yep. We'll know after this fish if I'm right or not. If I'm able to cast this out one more time. And we do have one more than that number in the corner shows. Of course, assuming a fish actually bites it. Decent chub on feeder fishing. Looks like another roach. Nope, a big dace. So no, that number is exactly how much I have. Good to know. I'm going to relocate a little bit further downriver. Just see what we can do down there. Put that away so I'm not dangling out in front of you. And in real life, not going to get it snagged on a tree or something like that. I'm trying to decide where I want to go. I'm going to go over here. Caddisfly, we'll put a 15 clip on. Cast it out. Go ahead and put Caddisfly on this one too and cast it out that way. Probably should have gone deeper now that I think about it, but too late now. And I'll just cast that out with Bloodworm and see what it does. This might slow down here. I expect to see more people in chat down here. Honestly, I'd like to be using grasshoppers, but I don't have any hot grasshoppers. Decent roach there. I'm hoping to get chub down this way. Especially on the bottom rod. The bottom of the bolo rod, aiming for chub. Or rough. Or bleak, evidently. Not what I expected. I'm going for rough. I should probably go deeper with the float. Nope, nothing actually on there. Saw the float acting a little bit weird. It was bouncing up and down. What have Nace been biting on? It's still very, very early in the week. Uh, in comes before that. The Dace have been biting on red worms. Okay. That's a decent fish. That would be a chub. A reasonable one at that, too. 1.2 kilo chub. Nice fish. Still right at a fish a minute. Although I expect it may slow down here. I guess technically this is up here, since we're north of where we were. Small, whatever this is. Rough on caddisfly. Interesting. Downside of bolo fishing at night is you may not have your light on the float. I can see it fine in the float cam. You may not be able to. I know YouTube tends to make things darker than they actually appear. Just like a good old rear view mirror makes things be closer than they actually appear. Let's go a little bit deeper with this one. I'm gonna guess it's about a meter out there. And it's deeper than a meter. Good. Thought you might have a small fish on you. Another rough on caddisfly. I'm going to switch this thing over to redworm. Nice. Doinked it right off the tree. I don't know if you could actually see that or not, but that cast bounced right off the tree out there. Just following it along and watch it go blink. Switch over to redworm to try and get some bigger rough. We'll see. I think there was a big rough order at the cafe. They're bleak. $49 fish, and I think we're crossing to 50 minutes right now. Yep. Couldn't tell if that was 49.58 or 48.58 when I looked up. I knew I Me talk good English. I knew I would know soon enough. Can't tell if there's something actually on the bottom rod or not. Side. Heard it jingle jangle a couple times. Never really saw the line move. The answer to the question was yes, there is something on the bottom rod. Small, tiny, worthless bream. Did I seriously get snagged? I did. Well, the bottom rod may be out of commission. Yep. Honestly, on that, I may just... Yeah. Let's go ahead and just call it here. 52 minutes, good amount of time. We're getting into nighttime, and if I'm going to stay here, I want to stay a little bit later than I should, so let's go ahead and just wrap it up here. So got 50 fish in 52 and a half minutes, so not too bad. A lot of smaller fish, but we were using small hooks, so I'm not surprised. We were targeting smaller fish, and especially smaller fish species, so we'll run back over to the fish market, see what we ended up with. I'm going to guess with 50 fish between 40 and 60, and probably closer to 50 than 60. Unless we get a whole bunch of cafe orders, but I always like to at least see what I have fish market wise first. So fish market 56, a lot closer to 60 than I expected. A couple of 6 silver Dace, a lot of 6 silver Dace. There's 24 silver right there. 5 silver chub. That gudgeon was worth a decent amount, so not bad, honestly. River mussel, we can sell this crappy one for 4. Didn't get gibbles, perch. It didn't get too big rough. Didn't get a huge roach. I don't think we got 5. No, we only got 4. That's unfortunate. Leek, we got this one, and it's worth it. There's 21, 25 silver so far. Another 55, 54, so 69 nice silver today. Not the best day, not the worst day, but wanted to do some bolo fishing here at Winding, so appreciate everybody watching. Again, apologies about last episode with no audio, but you didn't miss anything much anyway in there, so hope everyone has a good day, good tide lines, and we will talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye now.